The Episcopal Book of Common Prayer defines prayer as responding to God by thought and deeds, with or without words. We don't normally consider deeds to be prayers, but maybe that's what God is most attentive to. Welcome to one of our videos from St. Mark's Episcopal in Dalton, Georgia, and welcome all those joining us on Facebook and YouTube and all others. Last week, there was an opinion piece I read from a writer named Sarah Serbel, who was observing that right now in our society, there's so much to pray for. You know, there's not just wars, but there's natural disasters, and even the election. And there's so much that's wrong with the world that we cannot keep up with our prayers sometimes, of praying for so many people who are sick and hurting and in need in many, many ways. But she was writing about this, but she also mentioned a short story. It's a children's book called Useless Prayer, and it's written by Barbara Colson. And in this story, there's a poor orphan who never had the opportunity to learn to read. He lived in a small village, and he really had nothing. He had no toys, very few possessions. But he made himself a reed pipe and taught himself to play on this pipe. So he would, his job was watching the cattle. So at night, he would play on the pipe and watch the cattle. Well, Yusuf would observe in this village the wealthy of the village, dressed in their finery, going to the synagogue and to worship and to pray. And he wished he could go too, but not being able to read, he was not able to participate in the synagogues. So he would sit in the pasture playing his reed pipe, and he learned to offer prayers up to God, not through words, but through his reed pipe. Well, one time the rabbi of the village had a vision. And in this village, in this vision, he realized that maybe the prayers of his congregation were not reaching the heavens because the prayers were being recited by rote and by people who were distracted by worldly concerns. But that then the vision continued that maybe the wordless prayers of Yusuf played from his heart out in the field, but played from his heart, opened the heavens, enabling the prayers of the others to reach heaven. Sometimes we Christians worry about if we're praying correctly. Are we using the right words? Are we saying the right things correctly? But perhaps God is more interested or more impressed by the prayers of our hearts and by our deeds than with our words. When we have no words, God still sees our deeds and hears our prayers.